If you're a new player in Fallout 76, camp building can be a little bit daunting. There's plans you need to find, there's techniques you need to learn, but don't worry, TNG has got your back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a couple of tips that will help you get started with camp building in Fallout 76. As Tiesto says, let's get down to business. So, the first question you've got to ask yourself is, where do you want to put down your camp? Now, I would always recommend a location in the forest, and there's a couple of reasons for this. One, it is plentiful in wood. Now, wood is going to be the main resource you're going to use when you're building your first initial camps, and onwards if I'm honest with you. It's one of the primary things you need to build camps. The second reason, there's a lot of locations with water. I'll get more into that as the video progresses. The third reason, you don't get as many dangerous enemies. Now, enemies do match your level now, so if you're a level 30 and you go into the forest, you're going to find enemies around that level, but they're not the deadly variant, so you're not going to find many super mutants wandering around in the forest, for example. And the final reason, it's just a beautiful location. It is honestly the nicest region on the entire map, in my opinion at least. Now, as for specific locations, where would I recommend you camp? I will always recommend new players to camp around the Weirwood and the Overseer's camp. There's a reason for this. One, you're in very close proximity to a trader, so you don't have to fast travel across the map, therefore saving caps. And two, the Overseer's camp has most of the workbenches you're going to need early on in the game, because you can't place them all down in your camp until you've found the plans. So it's two birds with one stone. You're saving resources and saving time going round hunting for plans. The only issue with the location that I camped at here is it is very well travelled. So you may log into a world and find that somebody already has a camp placed down there. If that's an issue, don't worry. There is loads of other areas around this place where you can put down your camp and you'll still have easy access to the workbenches and to the Weirwood. The second bit of advice I've got for you is to start off simple and build your camp up slowly. Something like this I've put together here will be more than enough to get you by when you're first starting out in the game. To be honest with you, it'll get you by through all of the game. A nice camp is not a necessity. Get down your basic things such as a bed, a stash box, the crafting benches that you can put down, and it will do you absolutely fine. The intricate builds that you see all over Facebook and YouTube, they take a lot of time and a lot of patience to build. You also need a lot of plans unless you've gone to town in the atomic shop, and you do need to get to grips with the build system in Fallout 76. As I've said before, it's quite intricate, and there is quite a lot of oddities that you need to learn how to do before you can get these fantastic looking camps down. Like I say, start off small and work your way up. Once you've got more plans, once you've got more knowledge, you'll finally be able to start putting down these show-stopping camps. Let's move on. So, where do you get the plans to build up your camp? They can be obtained in a number of different ways. The most effective and cost-efficient way of getting plans is by capturing and defending workshops. Once you complete these events, you will receive a random assortment of camp plans. These can range from defensive items to display shelves. It really does vary. Plans can also be found scattered around the wasteland in containers, sitting on top of tables, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way and go and buy them from vendors. I will pre-warn you though, some of the vendors can be very expensive. Trust me on that one, guys. The first plans I'd be looking for when camp building is generator plans and water purifier plans. Now, the generator plans can be found by doing powering up events. The best one as a new player is powering up Poseidon. The water purifiers serve a really good purpose. When you first start out in the game, you're not going to have many ways of making caps. If you get a water purifier, you can sell purified water. Those plans can be found in two locations that I know of for definite. The first one is in the Overseer's Cache in the Charleston Capitol building, and the second one that I know of is in Camp McClintock, again in the Overseer's Cache. As I've said, water is probably the most effective and easy way to make camps when you're first starting out. Let's carry on. So another thing I can add to this little guide is don't have too many turrets at your camp. What they do is take up a shit ton of budget and you really do not need them. Don't overdo it. I see a lot of camps with about 50 or 60 bloody turrets, bit of an over exaggeration, but you know what I mean. And 9 times out of 10 you do not need a vast quantity of them. Crops are something else that people tend to go overboard on. Food has been nerfed in Fallout 76, it's not as important as it once was. Sure, it still gives you bonuses and some advantages, but you don't need to plant a massive field of crop. All it'll do is take up your budget and leave you with an inventory full of spoilt vegetables. So what are the final bits of advice I can give you? Well, first up, pick up every single item that you find. Guns, junk, anything. Either sell it or scrap it. If you're selling items, I advise that you max out hard bargain. That'll give you better prices on items that you sell and items that you buy. If you're scrapping things such as weapons, get the perk card Scrapper. That'll give you more materials on the weapons that you do scrap. I would also advise picking up the Contractor perk card, which reduces the cost of building items in a camp. The Woodchucker perk card, which gives you more wood when you're harvesting. Home Defense, which allows you to build the flamethrower trap. You also need the Fireproof perk card as well. The flamethrower trap is vital in building intricate and complicated camp builds. Other than that, guys, there's not really much more I could add. I suppose another thing you could aim to get is the marsupial mutation, which allows you to jump up really high in the air. That helps out when you're building. And if you're struggling with building resources, maybe consider capturing some workshops. I hope you found this video useful. I don't claim to be an expert on Fallout 76, I can only give you advice based on my experiences. Stay safe, and I'll catch you next one.